Hello and welcome to the Mixtape podcast, where every week I take a deep dive into my guests' musical influences and inspirations by asking them to make up an imaginary mixtape. They'll have 6 track choices and they'll have to pick from categories including their favourite cover version, a song they wish they could play to their 18-year-old selves, a song for a romantic interest, and a song they sing in the car or the shower. If you're enjoying these episodes, then please feel free to go to the top of the page, rate the podcast 5 stars, or give us a follow on social media at the Mixtape Podcast and Radio Show. And you can discover over 100 archive episodes just by visiting themixtapepodcast.com. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Hello and welcome to today's mixtape for KCR 102.5 FM and the mixtapepodcast.com. And I'm absolutely delighted now to be chatting to Nathalie. How are you, Nathalie?
Fine, very fine. I'm in tour in l'Île de la Réunion, which is a fantastic place with a lot of sun and hot. So we are very pleased to be there.
Amazing. Oh, Julie said to me you're on a French island. And I was wondering what that might look and sound. But yeah, it sounds amazing. Okay, so you're touring Piaf, the show, coming to Australia in May, and specifically for Perth audiences. It's the Crown Theatre Perth on Thursday, the 29th of May. It's the prestigepresents.com.au for tickets and information on all of the Australian shows. I think it kicks off in the Eastern States on the 15th of May, if I remember rightly, and the Perth shows towards the end of the month for the 29th of May. prestigepresents.com.au. If you're listening on the podcast, there will be a link in the description down below. Nathalie, first of all, I want to kick you off. I'm going to go back to the start, and reading your biography, it said that you joined your first band aged 8 years old. How did that come about, and what happened there with that one?
In fact, I was 6 years old. Yes, 6 years old. I can remember very well the first day of during being on stage for the first time. My father had this band and I wanted to be with him. I wanted to sing and it was so important for me. And he said to me, oh, okay, being the first at school and you're going to join the band. So I worked very hard and I joined the band.
Excellent. That's fantastic motivation. Superb. And then I also read, in terms of portraying Édith Piaf, as you do in this show, you first did that more than 20 years ago. So how did that sort of first come about, and what drew you to that role?
It was a very strange story. The first time I heard the voice of Édith Piaf, I was 4 years old, and it was a shock. And a long time after, in fact, 27 years ago, I was just coming back from a tour with the Rubettes. You remember this band, the Rubettes?
Yeah.
And I was doing into around UK, and I was coming back from this tour in France, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, they're going to do a musical about Édith Piaf. Perhaps there's something for you, a character for you." I said, "Okay," and I met the director. And he said to me, you're going to be Édith Piaf. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. Why? He said, I'm sure you are Édith Piaf. And I said, no, you're crazy. And I said, okay, I'm going to think about it. And I wait for about 1 month. And I said, okay, I'm going to do that. And it changed my life. It was a big musical. And yes, it changed my life. I used to say that I took the sorrow of Piaf to take off my tears. It changed and it saved my life, I think.
And with an artist, portraying an artist like Édith Piaf, who's such a distinctive and a lot of emotional intensity to her performance, how did you approach capturing the essence of her in your performance in a sort of authentic way that you do?
First of all, I read a lot of books about her. I used to see on the video how she walk, how she talk, how, the energy is very important, more than her voice. her energy, the way she walks. It's when you see somebody walking, you can touch his energy. And it was a long process. And finally, I'm not Édith Piaf. But all these songs talk to me about my emotion, about my sorrows, about my joy. So it's my sorrows, my tears, my joy that I brought in these songs, and that's all.
I think for me, one of the most amazing things about music and across all genres is when you feel that connection with the person who wrote the song and the person who's singing the song in terms of your own experiences. I think for me, that's one of the most powerful things about music. Absolutely. Yeah, bang on there. And in that process, Nathalie, what was the most challenging part of it for you? Was there anything that you found particularly difficult about coming to that role?
The most important things for me is not to, I don't know how to say in English, but for example, Edith Piaf is not like that. It's too rough, too strong. I have to be very careful. We have to be very respectful. It's a sort of not a caricatural. It's yes.
Not too over the top, very subtle. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. And I'm interested to ask as well, Nathalie, portraying sort of an iconic person like Édith Piaf, particularly in France, how did your portrayal go down, like initially with French audiences, and were you a little bit nervous or anxious about how you might be perceived yourself as portraying someone as iconic as that by particularly French audiences?
She's iconic all over the world. And I believe that the fact that she's iconic is the truth. It's more than Édith Piaf. It's the energy that she put, all the songs she put in her heart. It's a sort of connection with something below the artist. It's incredible that it's the powerful of love that I can touch every time I go after the show. I met people, and it's a sort of something familiar. It's a sort of she belongs. In fact, all over the world, she belongs to the audience, and I believe that all the songs as well belongs to the audience. It's a connection. It's a familiar connection, but familiar in the meaning of something very close.
Don't touch that dial. Stay with us on the Mixtape.
The Mixtape is brought to you in association with Giglist. Giglist is your one-stop shop for all your live events. If you're looking to get out and experience some live music, you can filter by artist, venue, suburb or date. If you are an artist, it will take you less than a minute to list your gig for free on the website. The Mixtape brought to you in association with Giglist. Gigs in a list. So the concept of my show, Nathalie, is when I get guests to come on like yourself, I ask them to make up an imaginary, like what we used to call in the old days a mixtape. Obviously these days it's more a compilation or playlist or something like that. So to kick off your mixtape, Nathalie, with an attention grabber, something that's going to really make me want to listen to the rest of your songs, what would be your track one for your mixtape? Tell us a little bit about that song and why you chose it.
Yes, because about the question, it's about when you hear La Foule at the radio, it's something very activating. It's a sort of something very powerful. And all over the world, when the musician begins, bam, 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 the crowd, and wow, it's a magic song.
Fantastic choice to kick off your mixtape, Nathalie. Now, track two of your mixtape is a song that you sing when you're driving along on your own in the car, when you're in the shower. What song do you sing?
I think it's Padam.
Yes,
Yeah?
correct.
Is it Padam?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it Padam Padam or is it just Padam?
Yes. Padam Padam.
Yeah.
Padam Padam. The meaning of the song Padam Padam is a word that comes out in your head and doesn't go out. It's the Padam Padam Padam. It's a sort of something that you can't take out your head. And as well, Padam is a sort of, it makes me feel good and joy. Perhaps it's one of the happy songs of Piaf. There are not very so many.
When I read about it, I did some research on these tracks, the ones that I didn't know. And I loved when I read that Padam is meant to represent like the heartbeat.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that. Yeah, that was brilliant. I love reading stories like that about songs and how they come about and meanings of them like that. Yeah, that was a great one. Fantastic choice. And track 3, Nathalie, what is your favourite cover version?
Cover, oh yes, La Vie en Rose by Grace Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice. And it's very nice because it's the song, but it's very far away of what Édith Piaf did, but it's a soul and very, as you said in French, very class. It's fantastic. I like this version. Yeah.
And she sings in French as well, right? If I remember rightly on that one.
Absolutely. Yes.
We talk a lot on the show. The cover version is one that sparks the most sort of conversation. The recurring theme that's come up over the last 100 and so episodes of the show is when you take an original version and make it outside of the original, like to more your own. And Grace Jones is very much a sort of a electronic disco funk sort of artist, and to take a Piaf song like that, and I think what she's done with that is amazing. Yeah, absolutely love that one. Fantastic choice. And track 4. And when I sat down and I knew I was going to be chatting to you, and I know what the track 4 song choice is, a song to sing that you would like to play to your 18-year-old self. I knew that you were going to pick Non je ne regrette rien. I was hoping that you would anyway. Yeah, so a spoiler alert, you did choose that song. What is it about that song that you would like your 18-year-old self to hear?
Because it's a rhythm. And as well, it's a heart beating as well. Pum, pum. And I think it's the philosophy of Édith Piaf. That means that yesterday doesn't exist anymore. Tomorrow doesn't exist. What is very important is now, the instant. And when you live now, you can't regret anything. It's impossible. You can't regret because we don't think about yesterday and you don't think about tomorrow. So, non, je ne regrette rien. It's very important.
What were you listening to when you were 18 years old? What sort of music were you listening to then?
18 years old, I was listening to rhythm and blues.
Okay, awesome.
I love rhythm and blues. I was listening to Édith Piaf, but I was listening to Franklin. One of my favorite singer is Thelma Houston. I love Thelma Houston, and I love rhythm and blues.
Yes. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, good. I always like to follow up that question with that because it fits in, it tailors in nicely. I always thought that was Piaf's most well-known song, but a lot of people seem to think that La Vie en Rose is the most famous song, but I always had that as her most famous song, her most iconic performance. But anyway, maybe that's just me and my exposure to her music. Okay, track 5, Nathalie, is if you were making up a mixtape and you wanted to put a song on there to let the listener know that you're maybe romantically interested in them, what would be a track you would use for that?
I think it's Les Croix. I said
that was your track 6. So it was. Let me try and pronounce it.
C'est beau tu sais.
Yeah, thank you. That was it.
C'est beau tu sais. C'est beau tu sais. Oh yes. Yeah. Oh yes, because C'est beau tu sais. It's not a song very known about from Édith Piaf. It's a fantastic song that Georges Moustaki. Georges Moustaki was a famous composer and singer in France, and as well he was a lover of Édith Piaf. And he wrote Milord, for instance, the lyrics of Milord. And I used to know him, and he played to me this song. And you know that song? It's one of the beautiful songs of Édith Piaf. And I said, wow, what a fantastic song. Because this lyrics is about a woman which is blind, and she talk about the man that she can't see. And she see everything of his body, but she feels everything as she feels the love among the fact that she can't see. It's a beautiful song.
Okay, finally, Nathalie, track 6 of your mixtape is a track that you feel is maybe a little bit underappreciated and doesn't get the recognition that it deserves.
Les Croix, it's a fantastic song. Yeah, the cross that I put in the show because I think that it's a very emotional song, and it tells about, in fact, what he used to carry on his back, on his soul, and in fact, her faith as well. She had a very strong faith in life and about above, and this song is about. I have pain, but my faith is above all.
Great choice for your track 6. Nathalie, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you on the show. Really looking forward to seeing you in Perth on Thursday, the 29th of May. Crown Theatre, as I said at the start of the show, theprestigepresents.com.au is your place for tickets and information for that show and all of the Australian shows as well. Thanks so much, Nathalie. Safe travels.
Thank you.
We'll see you when you get here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Au revoir.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mixtape podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to go to the top of the page and rate it 5 stars, or give us a like or follow on social media at the Mixtape podcast and radio show. Don't forget, there's over 100 archive episodes just waiting to be discovered. And all you need to do is visit themixtapepodcast.com. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.